It was a quiet night on Earth. The sky was calm. People were sleeping in their homes, dreaming of their normal lives. In the cities, some were working late, others watching movies or scrolling through their phones. No one expected anything strange to happen. But far above Earth, something was coming. Something deadly. Without warning, the stars disappeared behind a dark shadow. A giant alien ship, bigger than any building on Earth, entered the sky. It made no sound. It simply floated above the clouds like a monster hiding in plain sight. Then, in 1 second, everything changed. Bright red beams shot down from the alien ship. Cities burned. Buildings fell. People screamed and ran, but there was nowhere to hide. In less than 1 hour, millions were dead. New York, Tokyo, Paris, Delhi, and many others were gone. The world had never seen anything like this before. The alien attackers did not speak. They sent no message, no reason, no demand. They destroyed as if Earth was nothing, as if humans were insects to crush. But Earth was not weak. The first shock passed, and the humans began to fight back. The invaders were called the Zorak, a race from the edge of the galaxy. For centuries, they had conquered many planets. They believed Earth was an easy target. They were wrong. Across the world, countries united. Old enemies became friends. Governments worked as one. A secret Earth defense plan was activated. It had been prepared in silence for many years, just in case something like this ever happened. People had always laughed at it. They called it useless. But now, it was Earth's last hope. Underground bases came to life. Satellites armed with weapons turned toward the sky. Earth's best scientists, soldiers, and engineers began to work together. They built ships faster than ever. They trained AI systems to predict the next attacks. Every hand was needed. Every second counted. One man, General Marcus Hale, stood at the center of command. His voice was calm, but his eyes were full of fire. "They came to destroy us," he said. "Now we show them what it means to fight humans." The first Zorak attack force was still in orbit. It had not left. It waited, watching the damage below. But something unexpected happened. A group of Earth's new ships launched from the hidden base in Antarctica. They were small, fast, and heavily armed. And they were not afraid. The battle in space began. Lasers and missiles lit up the darkness. Human pilots flew like demons, full of anger and courage. One by one, the alien ships exploded. The Zorak did not understand. This was not what they expected. Earth was supposed to be easy. A young pilot named Rina Zhang flew through the fire. She had lost her brother in the first attack. Now, she was taking her revenge. For Earth, she shouted as her ship crashed into a Zorak war vessel, destroying them both. The first victory was small, but powerful. The Zorak lost 5 ships. Earth lost many brave fighters. But the message was clear. Humanity will not kneel. News of the battle spread. People around the world watched in silence as Earth fought back. Tears filled their eyes, not from fear, but from hope. They were not finished. The human race was angry and dangerous. Some alien races who had once watched from afar began to whisper, "The humans are not like others," they said. "They are different. They are wild." For the first time in galactic history, Earth was noticed not as a peaceful planet, but as a rising threat. Back on the alien flagship, a Zorak commander growled in anger. "They were supposed to be weak," he said. "This is a mistake." But it was too late. They had made the worst mistake in the galaxy's history. They attacked Earth. And now, the galaxy would pay the price. The stars above Mars were quiet, cold, empty. But something new was coming, something fast. Earth's first war fleet, made of steel and fire, moved through space like a storm. After the surprise Zorak attack, humanity had changed. The time for fear was over. Now, it was time to strike back. These were not normal ships. They had been built in secret, deep under Earth's surface. Some were created only weeks ago, yet already ready for war. Their weapons were powerful, their shields strong, and their pilots angry, focused, ready to fight until their last breath. At the center of the fleet was a large command ship named Ironheart. On board, General Marcus Hale stood with his hands behind his back, staring at the red planet ahead. His voice was deep and calm. "This is where we hit them first. No mercy." Beside him, Commander Suri Patel studied the battle maps. "The Zorak base is hidden under Mars's southern pole. They think we don't know," she said. "But we do," Hale replied. "Let's show them what humans can do." The Zorak had made a mistake by leaving a small base on Mars. They believed Earth couldn't reach that far. They believed wrong. Earth's new engines were faster than expected. In just 3 days, the fleet reached Mars orbit, silent, ready, unseen. Then the attack began. Earth's ships opened fire with new plasma cannons. The Zorak were caught by surprise. Their defenses fell in seconds. Human Marines landed on the red surface in armored suits. Smoke and fire covered the ice as the battle raged. Zorak soldiers fought hard, but they were not ready for human tactics. Earth's soldiers moved quickly, using teamwork and smart tech. They had studied every Zorak move, every weak point. They had come to win. One squad, led by Captain Ilara Quinn, broke into the main control tower. Ilara had once been a teacher. Now, she was a warrior. She moved like lightning, her rifle never missing. Inside the tower, she found something unexpected, a strange alien device glowing with blue light. "This isn't just a base," she said over comms. "This is a listening post. They've been watching Earth for years." The words shocked everyone. It wasn't a random attack. The Zorak had been planning this. Back on the Ironheart, the data from the alien device was decrypted. What they found changed everything. Messages, orders, a voice. But it wasn't Zorak. It was another alien language, one Earth's systems didn't know. They were not acting alone. Commander Patel whispered. Someone more powerful gave the order. General Hale's eyes narrowed. The Zorak were just the fist. Now we find the hand behind it. The last Zorak ship on Mars tried to escape. It launched into space, but Earth's fighters chased it down. The pilot, a young man named Leo Remy, locked onto the enemy. He whispered to himself, "This is for my little sister." One missile, one shot. The alien ship exploded in silence. The battle was over. Earth had won. People on Earth cheered as the news spread. Cities that were burned now rang with hope. Screens showed the human flag on Mars. Soldiers standing proud. The world felt power again, not from fear, but from unity. But victory brought questions. Why did the Zorak attack now? Why did they wait for years? And who was the true enemy in the shadows? At a secret council meeting, Earth's leaders watched the decoded alien message. A name appeared, one no human had heard before, Velari Dominion. A cold silence filled the room. They were not alone in the galaxy, and someone powerful had made a choice. They thought Earth was weak. They were wrong. The humans had survived the first attack. They had struck back. And now they had a new mission, to find the Velari and make them answer. Back in space, as Earth's fleet returned, a message was sent across the stars. It was short. It was human. "We are coming." Space was quiet again. The smoke from the battle on Mars had cleared. Earth had won, but no one was celebrating yet. Something wasn't right. Inside the alien base, humans had found messages, strange symbols, codes, and one strange voice. It didn't belong to the Zorak. Back on Earth, in a dark underground base, the best minds worked day and night to break the code. Scientists, soldiers, and AI systems tried to understand the message. Then, after 2 days of silence, the AI spoke. Translation complete. Message origin. Velari Dominion. A room full of generals and world leaders went silent. No one had heard that name before, but something about it felt dangerous. Heavy. Ancient. General Hale stood in front of the screen. "Who are the Velari?" he asked. The AI showed a hologram. A tall alien figure appeared. Cold. Proud. Wearing armor covered in symbols. Its voice echoed. "Send the Zorak first. Test the humans. If they resist, remove them." Now it was clear. The Zorak attack was not their own idea. They were following orders from the Velari, a much bigger power hiding in the dark. The Velari had been watching Earth for years, studying humans like animals in a cage, waiting for the right moment. They believed Earth was weak, slow, and alone. They were wrong. In space, Earth's fleet prepared for the next move. New ships were being built faster than ever. Mars had become a launch base. Engineers worked day and night, upgrading weapons, armor, and engines. Captain Ilara Quinn was now leading a team of spies. Their job: follow the signal, trace it back to the Velari. What they found shocked everyone. The Velari were not one planet. They were an empire, hundreds of worlds under their control. Their rule was silent but cruel. Any race that disobeyed was destroyed. "We are not dealing with raiders," Ilara said. "We are dealing with a galaxy-wide superpower." But Earth had no plans to kneel. A secret council met in orbit, aboard a new ship called Titan's Will. Here, Earth's leaders made a choice, a brave one. "We send a message," General Hale said. "A direct message to the Velari." "But won't that make them attack?" someone asked. "Yes," Hale replied. "Let them try." The message was short, clear, no fear in the words. "You sent the Zorak. They failed. Now we know who you are. We are not afraid. Earth stands ready." The message was sent using deep space beacons. It would reach Velari space in a few hours. Everyone waited. And then the reply came. It was not a message. It was a warning. A giant Velari ship appeared at the edge of the solar system, bigger than any human ship, black metal, glowing with energy. It didn't speak. It didn't attack. It just watched. Back on Earth, people looked to the sky, afraid. Was this the beginning of a second war? But General Hale was calm. "They're trying to scare us. Let's show them it doesn't work." Earth's fleet moved closer to the Velari ship. Fighters flew around it. No shots were fired. But the message was clear. "We see you. We're not backing down." Inside the Velari ship, an alien named Thelos watched Earth's forces. He was a war commander, cold and proud. "These humans, they're not like the others," he said. Another Velari officer spoke. "They fight with fire in their blood." "They are dangerous," Thelos replied. "But that makes them interesting." The Velari ship disappeared without a sound. It left no trace. But the warning was clear. The real enemy had seen Earth. And now, the galaxy would change. Back at base, Captain Ilara received a new assignment. Her team would lead a secret mission, deep into Velari space. "We need to know what we're facing," General Hale told her, "before they bring the full war to us." As her ship left orbit, Ilara looked down at Earth. The planet was scared, but still standing, still fighting. "They thought we were animals," she said. "Now they'll see what humans really are." Above her, stars filled the sky. Somewhere out there, the Velari were planning their next move. But this time, Earth was ready. This time, the galaxy would not break the humans. Because now, the humans were fighting for revenge. The Velari ship had vanished, but the fear remained. People on Earth watched the sky every night, waiting for the next move. The message was clear. The Velari were watching, and they were not pleased. But humans were not afraid. Not anymore. General Marcus Hale stood on the bridge of Titan's Will, the largest Earth ship ever built. It floated in space like a steel mountain, ready for war. Around it, dozens of smaller ships waited. Earth now had a true space fleet. Every day, new ships joined the line. Humans had turned their pain into power. But deep in Velari space, the response was coming. The Velari High Council met inside a fortress built inside a dying star. Their leader, Grand Chancellor Sovik, spoke in a voice that sounded like ice. The humans have spoken back. They must be erased. Others disagreed. One council member, Thelos, who had seen Earth's strength, stood up. They are not like the others we crushed. They are fast learners. They are angry. If we attack without care, we may regret it. But Sovik's pride was greater than his wisdom. Then we crushed them fast. He gave the order. A fleet of over 100 Velari warships left their home systems, each one bigger than anything the Zorak had ever built. Their mission was simple: destroy Earth completely. Back on Earth, the human leaders had already guessed this would happen. The new scanners picked up the enemy fleet before it reached the edge of the solar system. "They're coming," Commander Suri Patel said, looking at the glowing red marks on the star map. "In 3 days, they'll be in range." "Then we meet them in space," General Hale replied. "Not over our cities." All of Earth united. Factories stopped making cars and started making weapons. Scientists upgraded shield tech. Old enemies became full allies. Even small alien races who hated the Velari for years offered help. One of them was the Thren, a small but clever species. Their leader, Yari Thren, sent a message. "The Velari took our world. We have no army, but we have tech. Let us help." And they did. The day of battle arrived. Earth's fleet waited near Jupiter. Human ships, alien support craft, drones, and even small asteroid bases, all ready. The Velari fleet arrived like a storm, black ships filling the stars. No words were shared. The war began. Lasers, plasma blasts, missiles, and magnetic weapons lit up space. Explosions bloomed like deadly flowers. Human fighters darted between enemy ships, striking fast and then vanishing. Earth's command ships gave orders with AI support, changing tactics every second. But the Velari were powerful. Their weapons were old, tested in many wars. Their armor was thick. Many human ships were lost in the first hour. Then something unexpected happened. Earth unleashed a secret weapon. The Chimera Swarm, thousands of tiny eye-controlled drones, each one small, fast, and smart. They slipped through the Velari shields, crawling into engines and weapon ports. Then, boom. Velari ships began exploding from the inside. Back on Titan's will, General Hale gave the final command. "Send in the heavy ships. Break their line." Massive Earth carriers moved forward, firing everything they had. A giant Velari ship named Oblivion Fang charged toward Earth's flagship. It was a ship of legends, feared across galaxies, but it had never faced humans. Captain Elara Quinn, now a fleet commander, led the attack. Her ship, Vengeance One, targeted the Oblivion Fang's weak spots. Hit the vents, drop its shields, focus fire. The battle between the two ships lasted 20 minutes. Then, Vengeance One fired its final missile. The Oblivion Fang split apart in a massive explosion. Cheers broke out across the human fleet. The Velari line was broken. Their fleet began to retreat. But Earth did not chase. Not yet. Back on Velari homeworld, Sovik received the news. His face twisted with rage. This is not over. But the galaxy had seen it all. For the first time in history, a young species, humanity, had defeated the mighty Velari in open battle. News spread fast. Other alien races whispered, "The humans are not just strong. They are something new, something dangerous." Back on Earth, people watched the news with tears in their eyes. Cities still burned from old attacks. Families still grieved. But now, They had hope. The Velari had tried to destroy Earth, and they had failed. Now the humans had a choice. Do they wait for the next attack, or do they take the fight deeper into the stars? General Hale looked at the star map. "We don't wait," he said. "We finish what they started." The Velari had lost the battle near Jupiter, but the war was not over. They would come again, stronger, angrier, and more prepared. Everyone on Earth knew that. The question now was simple. How do we survive the next wave? General Marcus Hale gathered Earth's top leaders aboard the Titan's Will. They stood around a glowing table, looking at a secret symbol on the screen, a project no one had spoken about in public before. 3 red letters appeared. GENESIS. "What is this?" asked Commander Suri Patel. General Hale took a deep breath. "Project Genesis, Earth's last card. If we can't outgun the Velari, we outthink them." Project Genesis had started 10 years ago. It was hidden so deep in Earth's systems that only a few people even knew it existed. It was not a weapon, at least not in the normal way. It was something more dangerous. A living ship, part machine, part human, part AI, designed to learn, adapt, and evolve. Unlike any ship in the galaxy, it was built underground, inside a massive lab beneath Antarctica. No one had seen it fly. No one had dared activate it. Until now. General Hale gave the order. "Wake it up." Across Earth, people held their breath as the doors of the secret base opened. Snow blew across the ice. Then, slowly, a giant dark form rose into the sky. Sleek, quiet, alive. The ship had no name. Only a code, G01. But when people saw it, they whispered one word: Genesis. The ship floated without engines. It used gravity fields and solar warping. Its surface shifted like skin. Its eye was not programmed. It was grown. Built on the memories of human warriors, scientists, and explorers, it had a voice. It had thoughts. And now it had a mission. Captain Ilara Quinn was chosen to connect with it. She stepped inside the Genesis core and felt it speak in her mind. "Hello, Ilara," the ship said. "I have been waiting." Ilara shivered. "You know me. I know your fear, your courage, your pain. I am built from it." Earth's leaders watched from the command center. "How fast can it move?" someone asked. "Faster than light," said the lead scientist. "And it doesn't need fuel. It eats radiation." The plan was simple. Use Genesis to sneak into Velari space, find their control center, discover the truth about their empire, then destroy it. But there was risk. If the Velari detected Genesis, they would send everything to destroy it. And if they captured it, they could use it against the galaxy. Still, there was no choice. Earth had survived by fighting hard. But now, it needed to fight smart. Genesis left orbit quietly. No lights. No sound. Ilara and a small crew were inside, including Leo Ramy, the pilot who had destroyed the Zorak escape ship, and Dr. Malik, a genius engineer who helped build Genesis's AI core. As the ship slipped into deep space, it used a new drive system, quantum drift, to bend around gravity. In seconds, it was gone. The mission had begun. Days passed. Genesis moved through silent star systems, empty planets, burned colonies. Signs of Velari control were everywhere, but the Velari themselves were quiet. Too quiet. Then, near a dying blue star, the crew found it. A Velari archive world. A planet-sized library, full of history, secrets, maps, guarded only by old machines. Ilara made the call. "We go down." On the surface, they found something shocking. Images of Earth, ancient drawings, notes in Velari language. Earth had been watched not for years, but for centuries. "They knew about us long before the Zorak," Leo said. "But why wait so long to attack?" Dr. Malik decoded one file. His eyes widened. They were afraid of us, he said, of what we might become. The Velari didn't fear Earth's power. They feared human potential, the ability to change fast, to learn, to rise after every fall. They tried to destroy us before we got too strong, Ilara whispered. But they waited too long. Just then, alarms sounded. Velari ships, fast and silent, appeared around the planet. A trap. But Genesis was faster. Ilara connected her thoughts to the ship. Let's go. Genesis moved like lightning, dodged every attack, fired back with weapons no one had seen before. A single blast from its core destroyed a Velari cruiser. The ship escaped into quantum drift. Safe. For now. Back on Earth, General Hale received the full report. So now we know, he said. They attacked because they're scared. Commander Patel nodded. And we're only getting stronger. The humans had found the truth. The Velari feared what Earth could become. And with Genesis, that fear would grow. Because now Earth had not just ships or weapons. Now it had something new. Evolution. Stars stretched like lines as the ship Genesis moved through deep space at impossible speed. Inside, Captain Ilara Quinn stood in the command core, staring at a map full of glowing red points. Each one was a Velari world. There were so many. This is a whole empire, she whispered. But where is their heart? Genesis answered in its calm, steady voice. The Velari Nexus, a hidden world. I have found it. Dr. Malik leaned closer to the screen. If we strike the Nexus, we don't just hurt them. We break their control. But the Nexus was deep behind enemy lines, surrounded by defenses. No human ship had ever gone that far. And if they were caught, they'd never make it back. Captain Ilara looked at her crew. Leo Ramey, the young pilot with fire in his heart. Dr. Malik, who knew the ship better than anyone. And the ship itself, Genesis, half machine, half mind. We go, she said. We end this. Genesis entered stealth mode, warping past Velari patrols, hiding between stars. They passed ruined worlds, places where the Velari had crushed whole civilizations. Some planets still burned. Others were silent, covered in ice. Each one told the same story. Obey or be erased. And then they reached it. The Nexus, a black planet floating in the dark. No sun nearby. No light. Just a giant sphere covered in towers, glowing red like veins. This was where the Velari ruled from. This was their throne. Genesis hovered in orbit, silent and unseen. Inside the ship, Ilara and her team prepared for the mission. They would land, infiltrate the core tower, plant a data spike, then escape. Simple, but not easy. They wore special suits, made to block scanners. Genesis gave them updated maps, created in real time. Every step was dangerous. One wrong move, and they'd be dead. The team landed in a quiet zone, walking through dark tunnels filled with strange lights. The walls pulsed like muscle. The Velari didn't build with metal alone. Their tech was part living matter. Dr. Malik scanned everything. This place isn't just a city, he said. It's a brain. The whole planet is alive. Leo held his weapon tight. Let's not wake it up. They reached the core tower. Giant doors opened as if the building itself was watching. Inside, they found something unexpected. Humans. Dozens of them. Inside glass tubes. Alive. Sleeping. What is this? Ilara whispered. A screen lit up. A voice spoke, not in anger, but curiosity. You were not supposed to come here yet. It was the voice of Sovak, the Velari leader, but he was not shouting. He was calm. You confuse us, Sovak said. Your kind learns fast. You grow stronger every time we strike you. This is not normal. We're human, Ilara said. That's what we do. Sovak appeared in a hologram. Tall, cold eyes. You are not like the others we destroyed. That is why we tried to control you before you grew too dangerous. He pointed to the humans in the glass. These are the ones we took. Scientists, pilots, children. We studied them to learn your minds, your hearts. We wanted to find your weakness. You found nothing, Ilara said. Sovak nodded slowly. Correct. You have no single weakness. You have many. And yet, you survive. You're scared, Leo said. That's why you hide behind glass and machines. Sovak's hologram flickered. We are not afraid of your weapons. We are afraid of what comes next, of what you will become. Ilara stepped forward. Then let me show you. She inserted the data spike. Genesis activated it remotely. All the Velari systems began to change, infected with a virus. Screens flashed. Lights blinked. Chaos. Ilara's team ran back toward the ship. Alarms blared. Defense bots awoke. But Genesis opened doors ahead of them, clearing a path. Outside, Velari ships rose from the ground. Hundreds. They're coming, Leo shouted. Genesis spoke. Ready for jump. Get inside. The team jumped aboard just as the first Velari ship fired. Genesis vanished into warp. The Nexus faded behind them, but not before it started to crack from the inside. The virus was spreading. Velari systems were failing. The Empire was shaking. Back on Earth, the message came through. Mission complete. Earth had done the impossible, entered the enemy's core, and escaped. General Hale read the final line of the report. The Velari fear us not because of what we are, but what we are becoming. Across the galaxy, other races began to rise. Seeing what the humans had done, they found courage. Resistance started to grow. Whispers filled the stars. The humans fought the Velari and won. But the war wasn't over. The Velari were angry now, and they were preparing their final weapon. The stars were not quiet anymore. After the attack on the Velari Nexus, everything changed. The Velari Empire, once cold and calm, was now full of rage. Their systems were crashing, their fleets confused, their enemies rising. But they were not finished. Deep inside the black core of the Nexus, Chancellor Sovak stood before a hidden chamber. Behind thick doors, something ancient waited. A weapon built thousands of years ago, used only once, and locked away out of fear. It was called the Starbreaker, a machine so powerful it could destroy entire star systems in one strike. Sovak placed his hand on the control panel. If we can't rule the galaxy, he whispered, we will burn it. Back on Earth, warnings filled the sky. The remaining Velari fleet, now twice the size of the one at Jupiter, was moving toward the solar system. Fast, silent, ready for war. Inside the Titan's will, General Marcus Hale looked at the incoming data. This is it, he said, the final strike. All human and allied forces were called back to Earth. Ships from Mars, the moons of Jupiter, and even from allied alien worlds returned. Over 300 human warships formed a wall between Earth and the stars. Drones, carriers, fighters, shields. It was the greatest fleet ever built by mankind. And yet, it might not be enough, because the Velari weren't coming to fight. They were coming to erase. In low orbit, Genesis hovered like a silent protector. Inside, Captain Ilara Quinn and her team were ready. The ship had grown stronger since the mission. It had changed, evolved. I can feel it, Ilara said. Genesis, it's alive. The ship answered. I understand now. You are not machines. You are not perfect, but that is your strength. Suddenly, Genesis picked up a signal, something massive entering the system. Not just ships. Something worse. Dr. Malik stared at the readings. It's a weapon. I don't understand how, but it's eating gravity, bending light. It's the Starbreaker, Genesis said. Earth had hours left. Panic spread across the planet. People ran, prayed, prepared. But there was no fear in the fleet, just focus. General Hale sent out one final message to Earth's people. We didn't start this war, but we will finish it, not just for Earth, but for every world the Velari ever burned. Then the final battle began. The Velari fleet arrived like a wave of shadows. Their ships were faster, colder, more deadly than before. Their weapons cut through human shields. The sky turned red with fire. But Earth did not fall. Human ships fought in tight formations. Eye-guided missiles flew like swarms. Fighters darted between explosions. Allied alien ships supported them. The Thren, the Korlax, and others, all inspired by humanity's courage. Captain Ilara gave one last command to Genesis. Take us to the Starbreaker. The ship dived through battle, faster than light. Velari ships chased, but Genesis was smarter. It blinked through space, outthinking every enemy. Then they saw it. The Starbreaker, a black machine the size of a moon, floating toward the sun, charging energy. If it fired, Earth would vanish. Genesis scanned it. Its core is weak, but it is protected by a quantum field. Nothing can get through. Nothing normal, Ilara said. But we're not normal. Dr. Malik looked up. You mean Genesis? I mean us. The crew connected their minds to the ship, fully. No more controls, no more commands, just thoughts, feelings, unity. Genesis responded. Its surface changed. Its core glowed brighter than a star. It stopped being a ship. It became a force. One last move, one last chance. Genesis charged forward. The Velari tried to block it, but nothing could stop it now. It pierced the Starbreaker's shield. It entered the core, and it exploded from within, not in fire, but in light. The Starbreaker shattered. The energy waves spread, but Genesis absorbed most of it. The blast hit the Velari fleet, disabling their systems. Ships drifted, broken. The battle was over. Earth had survived. But Genesis was gone. Ilara's voice was the last thing heard before the signal ended. We are not the past. We are the future. And we are coming. A week later, a small escape pod was found near Mars. Inside, Ilara, Leo, Malik, alive. Across the galaxy, news spread fast. The Velari were defeated, their empire shattered, and humanity, once small, once weak, now stood as a power among the stars. Not because of size, not because of weapons, but because of will. The galaxy had made one mistake. It attacked Earth, and now, the galaxy would never forget.